Pesawat Indonesia Lion Air jatuh di Laut Jawa tidak lama setelah pesawat lepas landas. Keluarga korban pun terus menanti perkembangan terbaru terkait pencarian dan penyelamatan para penumpang. Analis Aviasi CNN, Mary Schiavo, akan memberikan informasi terkait apa penyebab pesawat itu bisa jatuh.
Any clues that we have at this early stage in the investigation, from your experience, what are you seeing here?
Yes. Well, we have two really important clues. The first is that this plane was on its first flight out of maintenance. The night before, it had an issue with the aircraft and had been into maintenance. Now, that's not unusual. Aircraft go into maintenance frequently. A lot of times you have overnight checks. But here, they'd had a problem. It went to maintenance, and this was the first flight out. I can't tell you how many accidents I've worked over the years where something happened on that next flight after it had been in maintenance. Sometimes it's simple mistakes. Sometimes they didn't get what was really wrong with the plane. But that'll be a clue that investigators will look at. Very important.
Okay, and again, the altitude, what does that tell us again? More on that.
And that's the second clue. The altitude gives us some really clear ideas of what was going on. First of all, the plane at this point in the flight should have been over 10,000 feet, and this plane only got up to about 5,000 feet, which tells us that they had a problem with power. When you cannot get up to the altitude quickly where you're supposed to be for this part of the flight, that says that you don't have enough power in the plane. And then it had already radioed that it had a problem, was going to turn back. That suggests that it wasn't getting the power, and perhaps in turning back, it lost the airflow over its wings, and that would be what's called an aerodynamic stall. But the fact that it could not climb tells us they had a problem with their engines, we think.
And then when it comes to the search and rescue here, we understand that the fuselage hasn't been found yet. What does that tell you? Do you expect that it will be found, though?
Oh, yes, I do expect that it will be found, but once again we have an issue of searching for pingers on the black boxes, listening for signals in the deep water. We've seen that in so many tragedies over the last 5 to 10 years, and it really is time to change the technology. It's possible to do live streaming from those black boxes at all stages during the flight, so we don't have this frantic search. And it also tells us, because they are not picking up those signals yet, that perhaps there was something wrong with the batteries, the problem with that. I do think they will get it fairly soon, but it's certainly tragic for the families, and it's tough on the investigation to really get anywhere without those black boxes. Desperately needed for that.
Yeah, it certainly is. And let's not forget, 189 souls on board. We can't forget that among all the technical analysis. 189 families have been desperately affected by this. Mary Schiavo, always great to get your analysis and your expertise.